In a small village nestled between the golden fields of Rajasthan, time used to have a sound. Not the sharp buzz of notifications, but a gentle, steady tick, tick, tick. For over 50 years, one man kept that sound alive. His name was Vikram Rao. And this is the story of how his village forgot him, while he never forgot them. But more than that, it's the story of how we all slowly forget the things that truly keep us running. Every single morning, even when his knees ached and his eyes grew tired, Vikram Rao would unlock the heavy wooden door of his little shop. The sign, faded but proud, still read, Rao Timepieces, established 1972. Inside, the walls were alive with clocks of every kind, grandfather clocks from the British era, ornate Swiss pieces brought by travelers, and simple village watches passed down through generations. Vikram didn't just repair timepieces. He cared for them like old friends. Each one had a story. Each one reminded him of someone he once knew. Then came the phones. Shiny, glowing rectangles that told time, played music, connected people across oceans, and slowly, quietly, made the old clocks seem irrelevant. At first, it was just one or two customers who stopped coming. "Uncle, why carry a watch when my phone is always with me?" they would say with a smile. Vikram would nod gently, never arguing. But inside, something began to crack. He still opened the shop. He still wound every single clock every single day. Because some things, he believed, were not meant to run on batteries, but on memory. Days turned into months. The once bustling shop grew quiet. The only sound left was the collective ticking of clocks that no one needed anymore. Vikram would sit on his old wooden stool for hours, his skilled fingers turning tiny keys, oiling delicate springs. Sometimes he would talk to the clocks as if they could answer. "You've seen so much," he'd whisper. "Weddings, births, funerals. You remember when people still looked each other in the eyes." He thought about his wife Meera, who used to sit beside him, humming old bhajans while he worked. She had been gone for 12 years now. The clocks were all he had left of their shared rhythm. Far away in the city, a young man named Arjun Mehra, once Vikram's eager apprentice, was building a new life. He had left the village years ago promising to return. But life moved fast. Promotions, deadlines, endless scrolling. One day, his mother called. "Beta, Baba Vikram is not well." Arjun felt a strange pull in his chest, a mix of guilt and something deeper he couldn't name. What had happened to the men who taught him patience? What had happened to the village that once valued slow time? Vikram never complained. But at night, sitting under the peepal tree on the hill, he wrestled with a deep loneliness. He wondered if he had wasted his life holding on to something the world had left behind. "Am I a fool, Meera?" he would whisper to the stars. "Should I have closed the shop years ago?" Yet every morning, the ritual continued. Because deep down, Vikram understood something the world had forgotten. Time doesn't need to be fast to be meaningful. It only needs to be tended. His hands began to tremble more. The village moved on around him, weddings with DJ music instead of dal, children glued to screens instead of listening to stories. Vikram's shop became almost invisible. But he kept going. One quiet evening, after winding the last clock, he sat down at his workbench, took out an old piece of paper, and wrote something in his careful handwriting. Then he closed his eyes, and the ticking continued without him. When the news spread that Baba Vikram had passed peacefully in his sleep, something shifted in the village. People who hadn't stepped inside his shop for years suddenly found themselves walking toward it. Arjun arrived the next morning, heart heavy. They opened the door together. The clocks were still ticking in perfect harmony, as if keeping vigil. On the workbench lay the note. In Vikram's elegant script it read, "Clocks don't need batteries. They only need someone who remembers to wind them." In that moment, the village felt the weight of what they had lost. Not just a clockmaker, but the gentle reminder that some things in life require our attention, our care, our time. The relationships, the traditions, the slow, deliberate love that keeps a human heart running. Arjun picked up an old pocket watch that once belonged to his grandfather. It had stopped. For the first time in years, he felt the urge to wind it, and in doing so, he began to wind something inside himself. We live in a world that worships speed. Our minds are trained to chase the next notification, the next achievement, the next dopamine hit. Psychologists call this hurry sickness, a constant state of urgency that leaves us exhausted and disconnected. Vikram understood what modern research is only now confirming: constant acceleration damages our nervous system. It weakens our ability to feel deeply, to love patiently, to sit with our own thoughts. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to freedom. In the Satipatthana Sutta, he reminded us to pay attention to the present moment with clear awareness. Vikram lived this without ever reading scriptures. He was fully present with every gear, every spring, every tick. He understood impermanence, that everything changes, yet he chose to tend what was passing with love instead of abandoning it. The clocks were his meditation. His shop was his temple. And his quiet persistence was his offering to a world rushing past itself. Perhaps today, you feel like Vikram, unseen, forgotten in a fast world. Or maybe you're like the villagers, realizing you've been running so fast you've left precious things unwound. The beautiful truth is this: it's never too late to remember. To slow down. To tend the relationships, the dreams, the inner rhythms that keep your soul alive. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just begin again, one gentle turn of the key at a time. Because time is not running out. Time is waiting for you to remember it, with love. Thank you for sitting with this story. May your days have more space between the ticks. And may you never forget to wind what truly matters. I'll see you in the next quiet moment.